life ain't all I got. Yo, son, now wait a minute, bro. I see y'all racking with your hands high. Waiting for that beat to take off 808, some stand by. When I'm breathing bagels, I say stay much shit, I stand by. Grind on shit that beat, right? Landslide. Please let me off my leash. I feel it, I feel it, I feel it too good. Like I'm a beast. Like a gorilla who's ready in the hood. So I'm going on and on. I be resting when I'm gone. Rise and grind is what I'm on. Bruh, that's why I wrote the song. Tonight I'm going out like my lifespan is last all night. If I don't wake up in the morning, bro, I'm gonna be alright. Don't cuss into the wind. Let go, we got to go in. No slowing down, we go in. No slowing down, we know him. Break.
Thanks for the hearts. Hey, Bashan, how are you? Share, like, tag. Turn up for Jesus.
No slowing down, we gon' win. No slowing down, we gon' win. Throw caution to the wind. Let go, we back to go in. No slowing down, we gon' win. No slowing down, we know him. Okay.
Hey, Periscope. Hey, Instagram. I don't want rights to this song. Okay, I'm turning it down. We're jamming for Jesus. See my t-shirt? Jesus did it. Hi guys, how are you doing? Thanks for those who are tuning in here. Hey Monica, I'm keeping it real 100 but holy. Fixing my t-shirt. So when you're coming in, I need you guys to type something in the comment box. Periscope, I need your name and where you're coming from. Facebook, I'm pretty sure I know who you guys are. I know like almost all of my friends on Facebook. Hey cousin, how are you? When you coming in, type something in the comment box. So Facebook, type something in. Hey girlfriend. Or Periscope, type in your name and where you're coming from. Instagram, your name and where you're coming from. Because I know my Facebook friends and family and girlfriends and bros. So today, I want you guys to share this broadcast right now. So, Periscope, I'm asking for you to follow me, and I'm asking you to share this broadcast. Share it. And I'm going to share it on Twitter. Good, cousin. Good, okay. Periscope, y'all ready? I'm still turning up. I hear my music. Y'all know I'm turning up for Jesus. I'm going to turn it down, son, because I'm going to keep jamming for Jesus, right? Hey, Judy girlfriend, how are you? Good night, y'all. How was your day on today? It was a gloomy day. My day was kind of ill. Yesterday, I had an allergic reaction, and I had to take Benadryl and some prednisone, and I was all swollen, so I kind of slept a little bit on today. I can't stand those things. I mean, y'all, and people think I act funny because I don't like to be in people's house that's dirty or if it's dusty. I don't go to if I'm at the hotel, I would have to have them to kind of like re-clean the room if it's not clean, because if not, I'm swelling up. I have an allergic reaction to dirt and to dust. So if you dirty and you dusty, you don't clean your house, don't ask me to come over there because I'm not coming. And if I come, I'm going to stay in one spot or sit in the corner somewhere because I am so allergic. And they say I'm allergic to dogs and cats. More cats. Well, the percentage was I was allergic more to dogs than cats. But I've had 2 dogs and I didn't have any problems. But if I go around a cat, I'm sniffling, my nose running, eyes are watery and itchy. So thank God for Benadryl. Because y'all would have saw me like, and I wouldn't have been able to get on. So I doped myself up with Benadryl last night and this morning. So I'm able to get on. So I got it. Yes, Monica, it was a chill day. Yes. So I was able to get on today. So today I want to talk about blended families, y'all. So y'all know my story. And if you don't, I'm not about to go through the story because we'll be talking until tomorrow. It was a pretty crazy story, but God, He's stirring the pot and He will extend your extensions. So within the blended family, and I used to have this, my husband used to have this, it was a big, large, it was about this big. It was a large family Bible book, and it had all sorts of things in it. It didn't talk about blended families, but it did talk about family. And that's pretty much on us, because had we followed Christ, if we knew better and we only stayed with one spouse and had children, we wouldn't be going through all of this stuff. Now, I'm not saying that it doesn't have a happy ending, but it's some challenging things that you go through. I was raised within a blended family, and I didn't want that for me and my children, but duh, it happened. And that Bible would tell you all kind of things, and it would give you tips on. They had a section where I forgot not who wrote the Bible, but whose Bible that was, because it was a family Bible by a pastor who had, put tips and things in there about what he felt was led to speak about things that God told him. Like, he talked about yoga, and y'all, this was years ago, before people start practicing yoga. I don't do yoga. You could call it Christian yoga. You can say you don't have to chant, but I read in that Bible some things about yoga, and I'm not doing it. And to each his own. If that's what you want to do, you could do it. But don't come to me talking about Christian yoga and it's not. You're not doing a chant, because the position and things are still a form of Hinduism. That's how they do it. So to each his own, but I don't do yoga. Don't teach my kids yoga. And I just don't believe it. Hey, Yvonne, girlfriend, how's it going? So, this particular Bible, would give you different tips about a blended family, because in the Bible, if I'm not mistaken, don't quote me, I haven't seen it. Nobody else have talked about it in the Bible about blended families. And like I said before, I just believe that we should have been taught better, not to blame anybody. We should have known better, not to blame anybody. And we should have followed Christ according to the Bible, because we wouldn't be going through all these challenges with the blended family. Like I said before, don't feel as though there's no happily ever after. It can be that way. So I did find a scripture, because I was looking about families. It's not about blended families, but I do believe we can take on to the scripture and it pretty much can work. 1 Timothy 5:8, it says, anyone who doesn't provide for their relatives, especially for their own household, has denied their faith and can be worse than an unbeliever. So that's pretty harsh. So the Bible does talk about family, and it does talk about how we have to love our family, how we have to love Christ, and we have to love each other like we love ourselves, and love, stuff like that. And it didn't talk about, I didn't see anything about blended families. And if I'm incorrect, guys, let me know. If you found something about blended families, please let me know. But it did say how we have to take care of each other and how we have to love one another. And we should do that regardless if these pop-ups keep coming. I bought a protection on my computer, and these pop-ups keep coming up. I don't know. Maybe I downloaded something. I don't know, but it needs to stop. So within a family, if it's church family, if it's friends, family, if it's your co-workers, stuff like that, I just believe there's different type of families. But we should be able to love one another. We should be able to, and it doesn't happen all the time, because sometimes people, you just can't, no matter what you do, you just can't. You just have to walk away from people. You have to love them from a distance. Been there and done that. Just sometimes you just can't. And sometimes people just can't love me because I'm very vocal. I'm emotional. I love hard. And I express myself very vocally. And sometimes people don't like that. Now, if it offends people, that's not my intentions. And if it does offend you when I say something, tell me, say something, because I'm very vocal. Very. And I want the best for everybody. It's not like I want anybody to fail. I want the best for everybody. So let's talk about divorce first, because this is where the blended family comes in, or a broken relationship. Not necessarily the person. Not necessarily the man and woman has got married. They could be in a relationship. But let's talk about that first. So, excuse me. I did some research, and within divorce, 45% of the children do well after divorce. Then they said 41% are doing poorly. They are worried, they're underachieving, and they are angry. And mostly because of the breakup between the mom and dad. Mostly because the blended family has started or is starting. So the child is angry. And guys, I'm telling you from experience. Now, I'm not a super expert in this, because there are some things that I had to learn within this. And there are some wrinkles that I had to iron out. But I can tell you from experience the do's and don'ts. And I can kind of compare them to the statistics that I looked up. I'm trying to remember. Within our blended family, when I was coming up, I don't know. I don't think I could say I was angry. I really can't say I was angry, and not because we were in a blended family. I think because it was something new, because my mom and dad was really never together, and they didn't get married. So I've always seen, both sides of the parenting. I was with my mom, lived with my mom. My mom was a single mom. I would visit my dad periodically. So I don't think, I really got, I guess, what I'm trying to say. I don't really think that it kind of, I didn't get a chance to adapt to it until later on in life, when my mom was in a serious relationship. I'll say that, because it was always a separate home for me, with my dad and with my mom. So, and I'm not trying to put our business out there. I'm just kind of telling you guys the truth. I'm not saying it was wrong, but I'm just saying I never really adapted to being in a blended family until my mom got into a serious relationship, because I was living with my mom when she was a single mom, and then I would periodically visit my dad. So I didn't think anything of it. Okay. So underachieving, that's something that I didn't go through. Maybe I was worried a little bit, and that had a lot to do with living in Robert Taylor homes, because of the things that were going on, and the struggles that we had. 50% of the women and 30% of the men are still intensively angry with their former spouses. I've seen that. I've seen it too much. And I'm like, get your life. Like, really, why are you still mad? These people have gone on with their lives. They have remarried, and you're still mad. Get over it. Now, it may take a while. I'm not saying that, okay, you're supposed to suck up everything and supposed to hide your feelings. But if it's 10, 15 years, 20 years has passed, and you still mad, you need some counseling, you need some deliverance, and you need some prayer. And I'm not saying that it's easy, because it's not. Being in a blended family is challenging. Being in any family is challenging. But when you're trying to unify different personalities, different households, I'm telling you guys, it can be a challenge. Only the grace of God has helped me to get through it and to get over it. But we're talking about divorce right now. And we're talking about the different things that happens during a divorce, after a divorce, and when the blended family begins to form. So usually the children are caught up in the divorce, and the parents are spending less time. They are giving less correction. They're not disciplining or not being sensitive to the children's feelings and emotions in regarding the divorce, after divorce, and going into the blended family. Sharing too much of the personal issues with the children can lead to depression. I had to learn that myself. You can't allow the children to see. Now, I think it's good for your children to see you struggle, because if they think that you are rich and everything is happy-go-lucky, how can they distinguish between good and bad? How can they distinguish between evil and godly? How can they balance emotion if you're giving them stuff, buying them things, and just showing them the happy, not that you show them depression, not that you show them evil, not that you show them corruption. You still need to let your children see some form of both sides, but not personal things that's going on within a divorce, personal things that's going on within the relationship breaking up. Because like I said, blended family doesn't necessarily means that the actual couple was married. They could have just split up within their relationship. If parents continue to do less with the children, it can be disruptive, and the children can have negative normal emotional growth and functioning. So that's one thing that the statistics says that goes on within a divorce. So, blended families, 1,300 of blended families are forming every day. 5% in the U.S., over 50% of the U.S. families are remarried or recoupled. Hey, Bronze Beauty, like we said before, doesn't necessarily have to be a married family. It can be a relationship. 1 out of 2 marriages is in divorce. 65% of those children living together, 65% of those living together or remarried break up. So they're saying that's a lot. The statistics are saying 65% of the remarried or recouple tends to break up. That's a lot. When the children are involved, I've seen that too. And then I'll talk about the do's and don'ts, but I do want to say this. Within any relationship, whether you married, whether it's a blended family, whether it's a family, whether are you recoupled, whether you are a couple and there are children involved, do not allow your children to get in between your relationship, because children plays a major role in 65%. I thought it was something else, but I'm trying to read and talk to you guys too at the same time. 65% of those living together or remarried break up because of the children. Children can be sneaky. They can be sly. They can play games. They can turn you against your spouse or your boyfriend or girlfriend. And I'm talking heterosexual, because I never experienced homosexual couples and remarrying and recoupling and blended families. So I can't speak from that point or that perspective. I'm talking about heterosexual couples, man and woman. So 50% of the 60 million children under 13 is living with one of the biological parents and that parent's current partner. So this is the blended family. This is the mixed family. This is what's going on all over the world. 1,300 families are forming every day. That's a lot. A lot of people are divorcing. A lot of people are remarrying. A lot of people are recoupling. And most of the times, the children are in the mix of it all. And even with the emotions and the feelings and the worriness, we can't allow the children to interrupt and disrupt the relationship. I've seen it, and it's a terrible thing. I've witnessed it, and it's a terrible thing. So 50% of the 60 million children are living with one of the biological parent and the new, within the new couple, the parent's new current spouse, partner. In 1990, the U.S. Census stated there will be more blended families than original families by 2000. And it's going on day to day. What can we do? So here's some of the don'ts. Don't allow the baby mama or the baby daddy to disrupt your family. You have a relationship with them, hey Nation, outside of your home, your marriage, and your relationship. That's number one. I mean, that is number one. Because once you get that down packed and they have a respect level for your new marriage, for your new spouse, for your new relationship, a lot of those other things are going to fall in place. Hey, 14, my kids. A lot of the other things are going to fall in place. Do not allow the baby mama or the baby daddy disrespect your spouse, your family, your household. That is a complete no-no. Again, if you don't start out with those rules, Sorry, Facebook. I had to, thank you, Mia, period. If you don't start out with those rules, everything else gonna crumble. Don't allow the baby daddy and the baby mama, the kid's father or the kid's mother, to have a say-so with what goes on in your house, what goes on within your household, what goes on within your relationship and your marriage. That's a complete no-no. Again, keep the child's mother and father, baby mama, baby daddy, outside of your home, outside of your relationship, outside of your rules and policies that you create with your new spouse, within your new marriage. Keep them outside. The only relationship you're supposed to establish with them is in regarding the child. They don't have a say-so in your home. They don't have a say-so in your household. They don't have a say-so in your marriage. The next don't exclude the children's feelings and ideas. Now, I understand it can be very tough. Right, nip it in the bud in the beginning. Nip it in the bud in the beginning, like Mia said. That is true. Because if you don't, it's going to be crazy. But within that, I can't give you a hug. Bye. Unless you got to get on. That's my big baby. She was trying to give me a hug. I'm like, you want to get on live? She don't care. She can be such a baby at times. And that's okay. She wanted to give her mommy a kiss. Don't exclude the children's feelings and ideas. Now, I'm not saying that the children have a say so. I'm not saying that everything the children say is goes, but we want to make sure that you include the children, that they're not feeling left out, that they are able to share their ideas, that they're able to share their feelings, and you guys can make sure that you can talk it over with them. And it doesn't matter how young or how old they are. You see my big baby, she's 19 years old. I just wanted to give you a kiss, Mom. I didn't know what she wanted. I thought she wanted to say something. But, and like I said before, there's still some things that I'm learning. There's still some things I need to correct. I'm just giving you information from the, seeking the statistics, giving you a little bit of my experiences, let you know what I have done, let you know what I need to correct. Because these families are growing. And this is like basically, what word can I say? Blended families are basically the bottom line of families now. Because of the divorce, because of, relationships are not working out. And there's no handbook on it. There's no 12-step program that you could do to try and keep the families together. You're just going to have to pray. You're going to have to ask God for direction, and you're going to have to make sure that you and your spouse are in this together, and you don't allow anybody else to come in and disrupt, and especially like the baby mama and the baby daddy, the child's father or the child's mother. You don't allow them to come in and do anything. So another thing that you don't allow the children to be disruptive and not correct them. Because you feel sorry for them, because you're in a new relationship, you have a new marriage, there's a new household, and there's a new parent, far as you being the blended mom or dad. Don't allow the child to just run amok, and you don't correct them because you feel sorry for them. That can play a major part, because what's going to happen when you don't correct that child for being disruptive and being disrespectful, that child is going to think that he or she can rule the relationship and rule the household. And then you're sitting here catering to them, but your spouse is looking crazy because a kid is trying to tell them what to do. I'm not saying exclude their feelings. I'm not saying exclude their ideas. You want to know if there's a problem. You want to know if there's something that you can change. But if a child is continuously just thinking they can rule, and that's for any kind of family. If you let the child rule the situation, and you don't correct the kid, and you let them be disruptive, your marriage will crumble. Your relationship will crumble. If you allow that child to get away with stuff because you feel sorry for them, you cannot. They have to be put in their places. Okay, that was another one. So I said, don't allow the child to be disruptive and not correct them. Don't allow the kids to be disrespectful and speak out of turn. You can't. Because if you don't stop it, like Mia said, you don't nip it in the bud, it's not going to stop. And you're going to go years and years and years. Whatever you allow in the marriage, in the beginning, if you don't nip it in the bud, 5-10 years, it's going to continue. The baby mama, baby daddy going to be a problem if you don't put them in their places. And I'm not going to talk about the in-laws. If you don't put them in their places from the beginning, it will be a problem. They will never stop on either side. It doesn't matter. You have to set ground rules. If you don't set ground rules with your spouse, and you guys don't stand firmly on what you talked about and how you're going to run the household and who you're going to keep outside your circle, it's going to get worse. It's not going to get any better. It's going to get worse. And then there comes the confliction. There comes the argument. There comes the whatever, because you didn't nip it in the bud. You have to nip these things in the bud. When you guys get married or you remarried, your spouse comes first. Not the kids, not the in-laws, not the baby mamas, not the baby daddies. The mothers and the fathers. The kids' mothers and fathers. We say baby mama, baby daddies. So for other people who don't understand, our type of language, I'll say the child's mother and the child's mother and the child's father. Okay. Next. Yeah, Richard, it gets out of order. And then it's hard to kind of fix it. It's hard to fix it. The next one. Don't play favorite with the kids. You have to treat them equally. Of course, you love your kids more than you love the blended kid. Sometimes that happens. And I'm not saying show your child that you love them more than you love the blended child. That's not what I'm saying. That's your child. You had that kid, mothers mainly. That kid came out of you. So, of course, the love will be stronger, but it's not for you to show it or play favoritism. You cannot play favoritism with your kids. It has to be equal treatment. The other spouse, you cannot play favorite with your kid. You have to treat them equally. Another one. Don't try to replace the other parent, people. You can't. It's okay that you show your motherly side or your fatherly side, but don't try to replace that other parent. It doesn't matter if that other parent's a crackhead. It doesn't matter if the other parent has abandoned the kid, has rejected the kid, has gave up the kid. It does not matter. You cannot replace that parent. If the other parent is an alcoholic, it doesn't matter what's going on, good or bad, negative or positive, within that child's other parent, you cannot replace that other parent. And trust me, I tried. Because the other parent was totally absent. Like, I'm not going to even get into it. I'm just going to say absent. And I did all that I possibly knew how to fix it. And I couldn't. No matter what I did, no matter what I said, no matter what, it didn't matter. I didn't actually know that I was trying to replace the parent. I was just trying to make sure that the blended kid felt welcome, that the blended kid felt like that they belong. So that was one thing I learned. You can't do it. You can't. It doesn't matter. The parent can give up the kid and never see that kid again, and that kid will turn around and turn against you and put the blame on you as if it was your fault. Not that they're, meaning to. It's not intentionally, but you just don't know the different emotions. You don't know how that kid really feels. And sometimes they don't want to talk about it. Sometimes they're not going to talk to you. Sometimes they're going to blame you for being the new spouse. Been there and done that. The next thing, don't rush into being a family. Don't rush your siblings. Don't rush the children to become siblings. That stuff they have to grow. It has to grow. They has to grow on them. Those kind of things they have to get adapted to being within a blended family. Don't rush it. Don't rush it. You just have to take your time. And if they don't want to, you have to just let it go. You're going to have to find an alternative to kind of like make it positive, but you can't rush it. You can't rush them to accept the blended family. You can't rush them to accept that they have other siblings. Even with the spouse, you can't rush it. That's why you shouldn't get married until all these things are put in place. You can't rush the spouse to accept the kid. I mean, like really take the kid in, take full responsibility. They have to accept the kid. I'm not saying that, but take full responsibility, because once you married into a blended family, if anything happens to that other family, you have to be willing to take on full responsibility of the other parent. And if you're not ready for it, you have to let your spouse know that when you guys are dating or whatnot. If it just springs up on you, you guys got to work it out. And you can't force the other parent to take care of the other child. You can't. When the other parent abandons the kid, and then you have their responsibility. That takes a lot of work. I've been there. It's a lot of work. And especially when the child is not accepting the new marriage. That is not accepting that their parent has abandoned them, has not accepted that their parent doesn't love them the way that they should. And when you try to force your love, not intentionally, on the kid, it doesn't work. You can bend over backwards, you can tumble over gold, whatever. If the kid is not ready, and if the kid don't want to, the kid will not. Thank you guys for tuning in. I see you guys keep coming in, but I want you to type something in the comment box. You can say, hey, girlfriend, or you can say, what's up? Happy Monday night. Something. Okay. Oh, we talked about that. So we talked about don't rush things into being a family or the siblings. Rushing to be siblings. Don't expect acceptance right away. Don't speak negative of the other parent. If the other parent is not doing what they're supposed to do, you got to keep in mind. Annette said, praise God, precious. You have the gift and experience that I need on my Let's Talk Tuesday. If being praying for a dog. Okay, thank you, Annette. Thank you very much. Don't speak negative of their parent, because you don't understand what the child is going through, and you don't know if the child is really making it all about them, and they feel like they're the blame, and then they feel like it's their fault that their mother and dad didn't work, and now they're in a new blended family. So you don't want to speak negative about the other parent, and especially around the child, because you just don't know what the child is going through. Hey, Ella, how are you? Haven't heard from you in a while. Hey, Sandria. Hey, Michael Cooper. Tell wifey I said hi. Okay. Don't take everything personal. Chill out. The kids are going through, everybody is adjusting. Everybody has to adapt. And there's going to be some times where you'll be like, hey, sister. There's going to be some times where you'll be like, dang, like, really? Really? That's the way you want to act? You're going to have to let it go. You're going to have to let God and let it go, because what we say, don't take it personal. It's going to take error. It's going to take trial. It's going to take mistakes for you guys to get it right. You're not going to be perfect. This is something that is very challenging. And for those who have had a breeze within the blended family, please enlighten me, because I didn't have it good. And I'm not saying anything negative. I'm just saying, period. I wish I had a handbook. Yep, Michael. I wish I had a handbook. I wish I had, someone who was in a blended family to coach us, to do the right things, to say the right things, to make up the right rules, because it's crazy and it's hard and it's challenging. You want to do the right things, and sometimes you just fail. Even though you can succeed, it's not the end of the world. You can have a happily ever after. But like I said before, if you don't nip things in the bud at the beginning, it's never going to stop. It's going to continue to grow. So here's some of the do's. Be very clear and discuss rules and things with the other parent and the child. We talked about that. What goes on in our house is what goes on in our house. Y'all don't get a chance to have anything to say, baby mamas, baby daddies, child's mother and father, about what goes on in our house. The child doesn't have a say so. The child can express their feelings, they can express their ideas, but they don't make a final decision. Children don't rule. And parents, stop being scared of these kids. They don't rule anything. Let them have their tantrum, let them fall out or whatnot, and you sit there and you look at them and you pray and ask them when they're done. Grown kids too, they throw tantrums. Discuss what is expected in the new household. Keep the other parent out of your new marriage and your new relationship. It's not their business. Thank you for the hearts. It's not their business what's going on. And I had to like kind of speak out on a particular situation. Why is the ex asking, are you satisfied in your marriage? What was that I heard? Do you regret remarrying? I don't want to know your business. Why do you want to know your ex's business about what's going on in their household? You should be done and over whatever relationship or marriage you guys had. Now, I'm not talking about a year or two later. I'm not saying, okay, get over. I'm talking about 5-10 years later. If you're still wondering what's going on in your ex's new marriage, which is probably old by now, or a new relationship, you have a problem. You need to go get some counseling. Thank you. Whoever is that? What's that? Oh, that was okay. So guys, remember, I'm on Facebook here, I'm on Periscope, and I'm on Instagram Live. So I have 3 devices going. So yeah, why are you worried about what's going on in somebody else's household? That's not your business. I don't want to know. That's not my business. I don't care. Keep a positive relationship with the other parent and child. You want to make sure that the relationship is positive. You want to be able to talk. You want to be able to have sit downs. You want to be able to talk to the other parent within a blended family. I'm trying to figure out how can I say that. I don't want to have to talk to the other parent of the blended child. The parent of the 2 parents of the blended child should always have a positive relationship between them 2 and the kid. So therefore, the positivity was spilled over into the new marriage with the new blended child and parent. I don't want to have a relationship with the other parent of the blended child. I should have a positive relationship with my child and the other parent. If you guys understand where I'm coming from. Keep the relationships positive. Keep an open communication with the other relationship, with the other parent. So therefore, the drama won't spill into the new relationship, new marriage. I hope you guys are getting it. Ask questions if you don't. Correct the child together. You don't have a right, unless you're not available. But I'm saying, like, if the child, and this is with the original family, if the child does something and the other parent is not there, it's for both of the parents to get together to correct the child. Now, you can correct the child if the other parent is absent, but when that parent comes on the scene, that parent, you and the other parent, whether it's an original family or a blended family, that marriage, those two other spouses should be able to correct the kid and discuss what's going on with that kid so there's no further disruptions or negativity that happens within your household. Therefore, they can see you solely working together, that they can't play any games, they can't maneuver, they can't disrupt, they can't bring corruption to your spouse, you and your spouse, to your marriage, if you correct them together. Keep the same treats, awards, rules, boundaries, and same punishments. And it really depends on, the personality of the child. Okay, Sandria, what wasn't clear? About keep a positive relationship? Okay, I'm going to start with that one. The baby mama, the baby daddy, and the new parent, the new relationship, they should have a positive relationship outside of your household, outside of your marriage. They should have a positive relationship. So therefore, the positivity will be the same within the marriage. When there's negativity outside of the marriage with the baby mama, with the baby daddy, that's going to bring negativity with the child, whether the child live with you or not. If you don't keep a positive relationship, that can alter into your marriage, and that can cause confusion. Because if the child sees that their parents are not getting along, or their blended family parents are getting along, they're going to continue to think it's less likely for them to adapt. They're going to feel as though they have a say-so. They're going to feel as though that they can interrupt and cause confusion. If you get it, Sandria. Did I make that clear? And I'm saying correct the child together. You and your spouse correct the child, whether it's within a blended family or original family. Correct the child together, because if you don't correct the child together, that child can feed off the negativity and continue to play games, maneuver. Okay, she said she got it. Maneuver and cause all kind of confusion and disrupt what's going on because of he or she want things their way. Okay? So encourage respect, model respect, and good boundaries. Give the children space and time to adapt. These are all the do's. Spend time with the blended child one-on-one. That's a good thing to do. Therefore, you guys can understand each other. You guys can kind of feel, feel each other out to see how you can just help the family grow. Support as much as you can within the transition. Take time out for yourself. Don't get caught up in trying to bring the family together, trying to have everybody to adapt, trying to keep things going, and it's freaking you out because you're frustrated and you don't know what else to do. Been there and done that. That I'm trying so hard, that you're trying so hard to keep things together to the point where you're messing up because you're not taking time out for yourself, because you're frustrated and you're trying to make things work. First pray. You got to first pray and ask God before you even get in these situations, because it can turn out really, really ugly. Ask for help. Don't try and do it by yourself. And I'm not saying go tell everybody your business, but make sure you guys ask for help. Again, these are the things that I've witnessed, These are the things that I had to do some corrections with, and these are the things that I still need to figure out. I'm not an expert. I'm just giving you statistics. I'm giving you my do's and don'ts. I'm giving you experiences, what I did and what I should have done, and the things that I had to correct. Keep a good sense of humor to smoothen things out. You can never go wrong with being silly. You can never go wrong with acting fun. Just acting crazy, being funny. Taking things so seriously all the time. Me. Kids don't know when I'm being serious and when I'm being funny, because I'm always being serious. And I seem like I'm silly, and I do get silly sometimes, but like, Mom, are you serious? Like, why you taking things? Like, let it go. Why you taking things so personal? So these are the do's and the don'ts within the blended family. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any other questions, please inbox me. Or you can go email me at iamcrystalbanks@gmail.com. If there are some things that you wanted to add on, some things that you felt that you didn't have to go through, or some tips that you can give me so I can share with other people, please inbox me and send them to me. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about the law of attraction. We talked about entrepreneurship last week and the things that I'm seeing people do with trying to be a millionaire and getting their career off the ground. And I know everybody is not godly and not trying to be, but I wanted to share some things that I'm seeing from a biblical standpoint about entrepreneurship, and I don't like it. And I'm like, I don't think this looks right, sounds right. Because within my career and every move that I make, and I'm not perfect, nobody's perfect but Jesus Christ, I want to make sure that I'm doing things for the grace of God. Through the grace of God. I want to make sure that He is directing me and instructing me. Our service last night was so powerful, and how I got some deliverance from pride. And it was rooted from previous rejection. Once you get prayer and deliverance from one thing, you have to make sure that it doesn't attach itself to something else. Because of rejection, I was perfectionist. And I got that a couple of weeks ago in service. Because of rejection, because of being a perfectionist, pride came in. Not that I was trying to think I'm better than the next person, but having this strong will of having to get things done because of people rejecting me so badly. I wanted to make sure that I have every I dotted and every T crossed. And that came in with perfection. So when I get on here, I give you life experiences. I tell you my wrongs. I tell you what I think. I tell you what God gives me. And I give information for you guys to do better. I'm not on here this is not a gossip column. I'm not on here. Okay. You're inboxing me right now. I'll get right back to you, Mrs. Felton. I'm not on here to sit here and tell my business. I want you guys to grow. So when I know I do better, and I want to let you know for you to do better. The reason for me speaking out and getting on these lives is because I want to tell my story so I can help you tell your story. I was molested between the ages of 4 and 8. And I was silent for 25 years. I didn't speak out. I didn't tell anybody, not my parents nor my best friend. When I began to speak out and I saw how God began to free people and how Jesus has helped me, like my shirt says, Jesus did it. As I saw how Jesus did it, I was compelled to help other people tell their stories. So when I get on here and I talk about these different topics, some that I might have been through, some that I might have just witnessed, or some that I have seen or are seeing people going through. And I keep it real 100. I don't fake. I'm not trying to get on here to have people to tell their business. I want you to become free. That's what I want you to do. It's still some things that I need to, I'm not going to get on here and think like I know it all, think like I got it all together. I'm not a pastor. I'm not a preacher. I'm not a prophet. I don't have a title. I just know who I serve. I just know who I believe in. And that's what I talk about. That's what I teach my children. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord, and that's what we do. So I give you guys different tips and things that I, talk about, and things that I know, things that I've witnessed. And I'm open for you guys to chime in, for you to ask questions, even for you guys to give comments. I like constructive criticism too, because I want to make sure that this is just not a regular old talk, that you're getting blessed out of it, that I'm being blessed as I preach to you, that I'm preaching to myself. So I hope you guys appreciate my keeping it real 100 but holy conversations. We'll be back on tomorrow with Prophetess Mia Odell, and I'm Periscope. I don't know how we're gonna do this because I can only do one broadcast with the dual conversation. So I don't know if maybe I'll turn the device towards the conversation so you guys can see and hear. But we're going to talk about the law of attraction tomorrow within entrepreneurship, because people are taking the word and they're twisting it. And I've heard it, and I've heard another prophet talk about it, and I got a little bit of insight of it, but I'm really going to do some research, and I have a lot of questions that I'll be asking Prophetess Mia on tomorrow. So stay tuned, guys. Smooches. God bless you guys. Princess Wave, and I will see you tomorrow 9 p.m. Crystal Hiyella Banks Facebook page. Periscope, I'll try and get on, and maybe I can turn the device towards the screen. And Instagram, I'll try and get on and do the same thing. I don't know if I'll be able to do it, but if you don't know who I am, because I didn't even introduce myself. I'm Crystal Yella Banks with books, bonnets, and bundles. You have any comments, questions, you can email me at iamcrystalbanks@gmail.com. You can also go to my website at www.iamcrystalbanks.me, where I have some Mother's Day markdown prices on the books, bonnets, and bundles. So take care, guys. Talk to you soon. Tomorrow, 9 p.m., same bat time, same bat channel, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're going to talk about law of attraction, and with Prophetess Mia Odell. Logging off Facebook. God bless you. Good night. Logging off Periscope. God bless you. Good night. Logging off Instagram. God bless you. Good night.